So good morning, it's just after 8:30 and this is YorkMix video. Penley Grove Street down there, Town End Street here, and this is of course Councillor Andy D'Agorne, who looks after transport on the Green and Lib Dem coalition controlled council in York, and we're here to talk about the fact that today the Grove's traffic calming measures come into force. So just quickly, just summarise what that means then.
Well, basically, there was a community project looking at what disrupts the neighbourhood, and they identified traffic as the key factor. As you can see, there's still a little bit of traffic at the moment, but by the end of today, these two routes through the area will be closed off. And
what kind of effect do you think that's going to have?
Well, obviously, to start with, as people get used to it, they'll be looking at alternative routes around. It's a few hundred yards deviation to follow the normal route along Clarence Street, Lord Mayor's Walk and Monkgate. So hopefully most people will use that.
Well, they'll have to, won't they?
Well, they will. Some people will maybe use other routes as well. But from the point of view of access, for the residents, for businesses, that will still be retained. It's just that they will go back out of the area onto the main road they came from. So, you know, there'll be a loop round, depending on which side you come in from. It takes you back to the main road nearest to you.
I mean, how worried are you about causing chaos on that part of the inner ring road and on Clarence Street? In normal times, surely we'd have the most unbelievable traffic jams because
I think all the experience shows from other parts of the country, from elsewhere in Europe, where this is quite a standard approach to making it more friendly for residents and people who live in an area. The traffic will dissipate around neighbouring streets. Hopefully, certainly some of the local traffic will be people who then choose to walk or cycle to school. We have 2 schools in the area, and residents can choose to walk or cycle if they live in the area much more easily if they haven't got to deal with sort of fast traffic coming past them.
But won't you just move the problem of pollution and traffic onto another part of York?
Well, as I said, case history from other places in the country that have already done this. I mean, York's done this 20, 30 years ago. It's just that these 2 roads were left open. So it's nothing new for York, but elsewhere in the country, there has actually been a reduction in overall traffic levels in areas that have been treated in this way.
Do you see it as a bit of a political gamble as well? That, you know, it's many people see it as a brave thing to do, but could it be a political problem, perhaps like Glendale Bridge was?
I don't think so. I think this is quite different in that it is very much led by residents in the area who want to have somewhere which is attractive, safe for their kids to walk to school, go pop to the shops without having to cross fast traffic.
And you say you're listening. People can feed back to you.
Yeah, so and we have actually already made some changes since the plans were put in place. So, for example, the initial plan had just one closure point down at the bottom end of Penley Grove Street. That's now been changed, and it's not quite right, but the residents on the street that are affected are in discussion with the council and can adjust that. So, you know, we are responding to residents in the area that's directly affected, but the principle is to cut off the through traffic.
And if it's universally unpopular, you'll go back to the way it was?
Well, I'm not encouraging people to think in that way. I think it's about adapting. You know, we've got a cross-party support for a motion to be a car-free city by 2023. That doesn't happen without doing things like this.
Okay.